Well, this is the famous Burr Island Hotel in the South Hams, which is cut off twice a day due to the tides, and is famous for being a place where Agatha Christie would come to ride. And today is playing host to a major Devon climate change conference to see what changes groups in the South Hams could make. And this location here behind me was chosen because of the way the owner, or custodian of the island as he calls it, has been looking at ways to make this island self-sufficient.
And that included wind, solar, wave motion, ground source heating, water source heating, air source heating. We found out that the fetch on the tide wasn't big enough to give us much power whatsoever. We found out that the heat, the air and ground and water source weren't very effective, and you needed pumps which obviously use electricity, so you're just using more electricity. What we found out was that solar is still good, and as many of you know, we have solar on the island, and we're planning in for more solar, which hopefully will be well received on the roof, so it will not be seen. And the other thing we were told is one thing that really works very, very well is wind. And if we had one of those big turbines as high as the island, on the island, we could power not just the whole hotel, but the whole of Bigbury-on-Sea. But I kind of think that's probably not going to get past any planning permission.
And the conference, taking place behind me on Burr Island, has been organised by the campaign group Bigbury Net Zero. They hope that by showing if a small coastal community can make changes and make an impact, it will inspire other coastal communities to also make a difference.
Delegates here are just as important as the delegates at the UN negotiations, because you're here on the ground and we can all make changes in our life. And in fact, I think the missing thing has been too much, high-level talk and not enough action on the ground.
What we're trying to achieve is the sharing of knowledge and inspiration across groups. So we'll find that one group has done one particular project very well, and what we want to do is to share that knowledge and that learning from that group to another group. So we're fast-tracking the dissemination of knowledge and hopefully cutting out mistakes.
The criticism is that you're industrializing the landscape. But I'd like to make several points. First of all, those solar farms are only built on low-grade agricultural land, and it doesn't mean that they need to be an industrial landscape, because we can create wildflower meadows there, so that they're rich for pollinators. And we all know that bees are declining and pollinators are declining. So it's very important to create those wildflower meadows. And in addition to that, we've got beehives at one of the solar farms, and we have funded projects to lower the community's carbon footprint.
We have 2 boats which we operate and 4 kayaks made from recycled fishing nets and post-consumer waste, and we basically take groups of volunteers and others who have a bit more experience out onto the coast and into our estuaries to go and recover plastic pollution, of which there is a bewildering amount. And that plastic then gets taken mostly for recycling and upcycling. Some of it unfortunately ends up being burnt for energy, for waste to energy. But basically we're working within a circular system so that the recovered material gets reused and repurposed.
And how much did you find?
Yeah, it's a staggering amount actually. In fact, 2 days ago we had 2.3 tonnes taken away to Exeter City Council via the Net Regeneration Scheme for recycling. So we're dealing in the tens of tonnes rather than the hundreds of kilos now.
The 5 biggest things you can do to reduce your carbon footprint is insulate your home by organic, seasonal, local food, travel by shared transport, and take holidays by ground level transport, and purchase quality, long-lasting products. And homing in on the renewables, the big thing is to get everything over to electricity by 2050, so there'll no longer be any other kind of fuel in use, and the main form of heating will be heat pumps, air source or ground source heat pumps. And so we all can take part in that gradual transition to electrical energy, and then sourcing that from renewables such as wind, solar and hydro is the way forward.
So the community compost is essentially a place within the village where locals and people from outside bring their garden waste, and we compost it. It takes about 6 months in all to produce a beautiful black gold for the garden. And so essentially the garden waste is not going into landfill, it's not being wasted, it's being recycled and made into something that can then go on the gardens of South Brent in order to grow food and flowers. At the moment there is an issue with the brown bin collection with the South Hams, and so in actual fact our little community compost has grown significantly since the brown bin stopped being collected, and we've gone from having approximately 20 or 25 cars on a Sunday morning bringing their garden waste to around about, well, anything between 70 and 90 cars. And so you can see the huge difference that this has meant to us. We've had to up the number of volunteers that we have at the weekend and so on, but we have about 50 volunteers volunteering at the community compost. So it's a very good, successful demonstration of the power of people, in fact, coming together, all working together